Did you know that University of Scranton did a research and they discovered that 92% of Americans who set their goals, they never achieve them? Look, 92%, which means only 8% do. Welcome to Achieve. I am your host, Wanda Martin, and I'm here to give you some good practical goal setting strategies to help you to become a part of that 8%. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about manifesting your goals. That's right, we all have goals, but we have to learn how to manifest them. And so I have on my show today, in this episode, the manifestation queen herself, Ashlee Eason. So can you please help me to welcome Ashlee to my show? Welcome, Ashlee.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today.
I am so honored that you have accepted the invitation to be on my show because, look, you are the manifestation queen. And so you're going to help us to show us how to manifest our goals. So you're going to give us some practical goal setting strategies just to help us today. So are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so look, Ashlee, before we get started into this conversation, can you just go ahead and tell us about yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Ashlee Eason. I am born and raised in Connecticut, living in California now. And out here, I have continued my podcast brand, which is The Amateur Expert. I claim to know a little bit about a lot, manifestation being one of them. And I also have an apparel brand called Affirmed Armor. And I started that when I was really needing a reminder to lift my head up. I'm wearing a shirt today. It's about affirmations and reminding yourself of a truth that you've forgotten about yourself.
I love that. To remind yourself of the truth that you forgot about yourself. So you know you're going to have to tell us more about that before we close this episode. And so we're going to go ahead and dive right into this conversation. Ashlee, my whole show is about goal setting, and you are the manifestation queen herself. So can you tell us what are some things that you manifested as a result of you just setting and achieving your goals?
Absolutely. So I did this thing, I think in 2020, where I had a manifestation jar and I put in things that I wanted to manifest. So I had a guest list of people that I wanted, special people that I wanted to have on the podcast: Sarah Jakes Roberts, Arian Simone, Kev on Stage, and people that I really thought I had access to or that I'd be able to have on my platform. Mm-hmm. And I was very blessed and lucky to be able to actually get 7 out of the 8 people on my list. Mm-hmm. And I did that basically by writing the vision and making it plain. I knew exactly clearly what I wanted, and then I either had to create relationships or create relationships was the biggest thing. Yeah. But also I did a social media blast, and I just really tried to get connected to the people and make them know that they were special and they would add value to being on the podcast.
Wow, I love that. So did you say you created a manifestation jar where you placed in that jar different dreams and goals that you wanted to manifest in your life?
I did, and I renew it like quarterly. I've written down that I wanted to move to California. I did that. I wanted to work in a certain industry. I've done that. I wanted to serve and worship at a church, and I'm doing that now. I think it's very important, and I have learned this from you as well, to write down the things that you want and to be very specific and in detail.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. See, I see why you are known as the manifestation queen. Girl, you are killing the game. You're crushing it. That no wonder why you're manifesting all of your goals, because you're doing the number one thing that I talk about. You're writing your goals down. And that is something, Ashlee, that I always talk about and that I love to mention on my show, because one thing I say, listen, it's not enough for you to think it. You have to ink it. You have to write down your goals, the things that you want to manifest, those goals, those dreams, those desires, because when you don't put them on paper, they'll become vapor. They will vanish out of your life. And once they vanish out of your life, you might as well forget it. The game is over. So listen, we don't want the game to be over. We're just getting in the game. So you have to go ahead and write down those goals. So I love that, Ashlee, for saying that. So Ashlee, can you tell us, why do you believe setting goals is pertinent to manifesting your dreams and your desires and your goals?
So I think that it's very important to set goals, especially as an entrepreneur, because when you're in the workforce, your goals are set for you, right? Yeah, we need to make this amount of money. We need to sell this amount of whatever. But as an entrepreneur and just in life, you sort of have to create those benchmarks for yourself. And so that is something that I have taken very near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
As you can see behind me, I have my vision board. I do the manifestation jar. I'm writing in my journal constantly, because without seeing it or writing it down, I'm not able to actualize it. And so I need the reminders, and I need to be held accountable
Yeah.
to making my goals come to life.
Yeah, I love that. And so that's why you see that it's very important to set goals, because without setting goals, you'll find yourself just drifting away. You'll find yourself just existing. Nothing will be manifesting. Nothing will come into fruition if you don't go ahead and set goals. As a matter of fact, I love the quote by Tony Robbins. He said the first step to turning the invisible to be invisible is you have to start setting goals. And that's exactly what you've done. You had these invisible dreams and these goals and these desires, and you made them visible by you just setting goals. So I love that answer, Ashlee. That's good. Thank you so much for that one. So, okay, Ashlee, do you have an accountability partner? Because I believe when it comes to goal setting that everyone needs to have an accountability partner. No one can make it to the top on their own. I always love the quote and love to say the quote, hey, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go further, you have to take somebody with you. So in other words, you need to have an accountability partner. And so do you have an accountability partner? And if so, how important do you think having an accountability partner is?
Yeah, I have accountability partners because I have different dreams and goals. And so I have an accountability partner for my weight loss journey. I have one for my business endeavors. I have one for my religious or my spirituality, right? And so I think it's so important to have people that you can be aligned with, and also people that will call you out when you aren't doing what you're saying you're going to do. It's very important to me to have them and someone who I trust. You can't you have to be very careful in who you're choosing to be your accountability partner, right? Because on the days that you want to give up, you don't want them to be like, yeah, girl, give up. Or yeah, guy, don't worry about it. It needs to be someone that you trust, and someone that will actually hold you accountable. So I have multiple, and I live by them.
I love that. So you have multiple accountability partners for the different categories or the different areas of your life, correct?
Yes.
See, and I think that's crucial. I mean, you are like teaching all of my lessons here on this episode. And you're making it practical because, you know, one accountability partner cannot speak to the different areas of your life. So you do need to utilize many accountability partners to address the many different areas or facets of your life. And so the fact that you are utilizing that, no wonder you're the manifestation queen, girl. And so, you know, that's great because it's a great segue into what I want to talk about next when it comes to, you know, you have an accountability partner and you have them in different facets of your life. You had to create daily habits. You had to utilize daily habits or utilize daily disciplines. So can you tell us what disciplines or habits have you been utilizing in order to get you to where you are today?
I think that one of the things that helps me most is to write down in a journal, in a notebook, and a scrap piece of paper. Writing it down is so important to me, but also I need to make deadlines and block time out. So I am using my calendar, even if it's just like sometimes to eat lunch, because as an entrepreneur or just as a person that's busy, or, you know, sometimes you forget to eat lunch or you forget to do some of the small things. So I really utilize writing lists down as well as utilizing my calendar. And I think that I'm way more productive and I am more successful in achieving my goals when doing that.
And so it goes back to originally what you mentioned from before. You make sure that you write stuff down.
So important.
It's so important. And I love to say this, what gets scheduled gets done. And so
true.
What gets scheduled gets done. And so just like you even have to schedule your lunch, because you're right, you know, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, you know, even if you don't have your own business, but you're just an individual who have goals set, if you don't schedule your goals, if you don't have deadlines to them, you will find that you'll miss those goals, or those goals will go flying away in the wind. And you don't want that to happen. You want to win with your goals. And so it's so important, as Ashlee is talking, she's sharing all of these practical nuggets that you can definitely place as a part of your life so that you can go from where you are to really where you want to be. And so writing it down, it really seems like, Ashlee, you really live your life based on that daily habit.
It's so important. And one thing I would be remiss not to say is to have your mantra or your affirmations, right? And so sometimes it does get tough. And so it's like I had to remind myself, I am enough. I am evolving. I am a winner. I can do this. It will be hard, but I can get it done. And so I like to adding either your mantra or affirmations into your daily routine as well.
Okay, now is there a website that you go to look at for your mantras? Like how did you come up with those mantras? Like you just shared just about 3 or 4 of them. I would probably say you probably say those daily. So where did you come up with your mantras? How do you develop your mantras to help you to really manifest your goals and your dreams?
I think they literally just come out of being in a stressful or a moment where I don't know what to do, right? And so it's like the self-talk that I have to give myself, like, you got this, you can do this, or I have everything that it's going to take to get this done, because I truly believe that. And so that is sort of why I created the brand Affirmed Armor, because there are times where you're in the thick of it and you forget that you are a boss, or you are a winner, or you are a survivor. And so it's so important to me just to talk to myself positively, because it wouldn't make sense if we said that tough times don't come up, right? They're going to come up, with whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working a 9 to 5, or you're a mom, or you're a sister, or a daughter. And so in those moments, it's like, I've got this, and you have to talk to yourself, give yourself what you need.
Yeah, I love that, because life happens to all of us, like you just mentioned. You know, we all experience setbacks. We all experience hiccups in life. We all experience trials and tribulations. And one of the things that will help us to get through those things is that positive self-talk, telling yourself, hey, you got this. So I love it. Your boss, you can do this. You are a winner. All of those things that they're very important to utilize in order to go from where you are to where you want to be, and especially in order for you to manifest your goals. And so I love the fact that you brought that out, because we're seeing all the different things up on the screen that you have begin to manifest and that you have manifested, but it comes from one part of you doing your mantras, your self-talk. And you know, actually one thing that I love to read, and I believe leaders are readers, and so one of the things that I've noticed is that most celebrities and highly successful achievers, that is one thing that they will utilize, and that is self-talk. They encourage themselves. They look themselves in the mirror and tell them that they can do this. And that's what helped them to get over the hump and to where they are today. And so I'm glad that you mentioned that, Ashlee.
Yes, it's so important. And like the shirt I'm wearing today is I am evolving, because I have to allow myself to also you have to give yourself grace through the process.
Absolutely.
And so who I am yesterday is not who I am today, and who I am today isn't who I will be tomorrow. And so it's all a process, and it's great.
It's all a process, and it's great. And so speaking of process, hey, we have a process where we have to take a short commercial break, but we'll be right back with some more practical goal setting strategies from Ashlee Eason. We'll be right back.
Aloha! Joe Silva here with Kukua Technologies. I'm excited to see you on Tuesdays on Morning Coffee for our tech tips.
Let's face it, lawyers get a bad rap. I'm Erin Brucey, host of Legal Breakdown, where we dissect legal topics for the everyday viewer, with a mix of interesting guests to talk about current events and hot legal topics. Let's work together to make the law accessible and relevant to everyone. Catch us every week on RVN Television.
Welcome back to Achieve with Wanda. I'm your host, Wanda Martin, and in this episode, we're talking about manifesting your goals. And I have on my show, Ashlee Eason. Look, she is a manifestation queen, and she's just been dropping some amazing nuggets on how you and I can manifest our goals. And so, welcome back to the conversation, Ashlee.
Thank you. I'm so excited to keep going.
Okay, so yes, let's keep going. Now, my next question, and it's one thing that I love to talk about, and that is growth. And one thing that I teach people when I talk about goal setting is goals are not for you to get, but they're for you to grow. With goals, you should set goals that will grow you. In other words, you should set like stretching goals that you have to stretch yourself in order to reach that goal. And so with you, how have having goals really helped you to grow to where you are today?
Man, I would say that my goals, my goal for the podcast has been consistency.
Okay.
And so that means that daily or weekly, I have to find someone to be on my show. So that's like doing research, reaching out to people, stretching myself in regards to feeling uncomfortable, potentially reaching out to someone like a Sarah Jakes Roberts or a Devon Franklin that I don't think that I would necessarily have access to. But they, like I said, they were actually on the show. And so I think we're 120 plus episodes in, and it's just very exciting to see just how I've even grown as an interviewer, as a person who is learning more about production. In regards to the apparel brand, Affirmed Armor, I was not the girl that loved clothing or shopping. My mom will tell you I did not want to go at all. And so I would say that this brand altogether is stretching me because I have to learn about e-commerce. I have to learn about business in as a whole, because the podcast is in a business. And so my goals of having something that is to uplift people is stretching me in areas of my life that I never thought would. And so it's very exciting and a little scary, but I'm evolving.
Yeah, you're evolving, you're growing. And you are producing growth in your life as a result of it. As a matter of fact, I remember the time when I was on Instagram and you had placed a post out there saying that you wanted to interview Devon Franklin. And so you had all of these individuals, they were trying to reach out to him that knew him personally so that he could be on your show. And I love the fact that you did that, because even I started to look into my little Rolodex and to see who do I know that knows Devon, because I wanted to help you to reach that goal. But just to hear that was a growth step for you. That wasn't in your comfort zone. That was in your discomfort zone. And you actually did it. And it was an amazing interview. But I love the fact that you set that goal and you allowed that goal to stretch you to do something really that was amazing, that a lot of people watched that interview and whose life was impacted and enriched by it. And so I can definitely see from the time that I've met you, I believe it was last year, right? But no, it's about a couple of years ago, right before the pandemic, until now, I have seen tremendous growth in your life, Ashlee. So it's amazing watching you evolve.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That means a lot to me. And I have to remind myself it's bigger than me. So if I have to ask for help, you have to ask for help. And it's been an amazing journey, honestly.
And I love that. If you have to ask for help, because a lot of people do not want to ask for help. But that is so important. Again, you cannot get to your next level alone. You have to ask for help to get somebody to help you to get there. And so, Ashlee, listen, I know when talking to you, you're always talking about having a positive mindset. And I know that it comes from, your self-talk. You're always encouraging yourself. And so can you answer this question? What role does having a positive mindset play in you manifesting your goals?
Oh, it's everything.
Okay.
Because if you don't, how will you get it done?
Yeah.
If I have any ounce of doubt, which I do sometimes, it allows me to not be as productive. I start second guessing myself, and then I'm not productive. Nothing happens if I don't think I can do it.
That's
so
right.
I have to tell myself, yes, you've got this, you can do it. Keep going. And the positivity keeps me going. It encourages me, it excites me. And it's so important.
It is so important. Okay. And so how did you develop such a positive mindset? Would you also say it goes back to the self-talk and writing it down? Is there any other practical habits that you have implemented in order to obtain a positive mindset that you have?
Yeah, so I think sometimes I would say specifically as women, we can be really hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
But we have grace for everyone else, and so I started to have that same grace for myself.
That's good.
And when it felt like it was hard, I tried to look at myself in the lens of a friend. I wouldn't treat my friend like this, and I wouldn't talk to my friend like this, and I also wouldn't allow my friend to talk to herself like that. And so if it's not okay for her, why is it okay for me?
Exactly.
And so that sort of helped me to rewire how I spoke to myself and how I was able to remain positive or get back on the positive track.
Okay, I love that. I love that. These are some great answers. Ashlee, you are helping us tremendously with your answers. I love it. Okay, so with that being said, Ashlee, life happens to all of us, and we pretty much talked about that. And so how have you dealt with setbacks?
Man.
Was that a curveball? How have you dealt with setbacks? Because we've all experienced them. And we'll continue to experience them. But what are some practical things that you have done in the past or that you do currently to deal with setbacks?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've had to do is accept that it is a setback and allow myself to feel the sad, the shame, the hurt, whatever it is, because once I'm able to assess what it is, I'm able to then plan and set new goals to dig myself out of it or to create a better opportunity or new opportunity. And so I think it's a lot of times, I've heard like, dust yourself up and I should say like a quick return, but sometimes things take time. So whether it's therapy or it's, reading a self-help book or just feeling your feelings, feel them and then allow yourself to move forward and create new goals and plans to get realigned with your North Star.
I love that. I love that. And just really just recognize it's just a setback. It's just a setback. Yeah. And most setbacks, if not all setbacks, will allow you to step forward. And so, and it sounds like that's exactly what you will allow your setbacks to do, to give you space and grace to step forward. And that is so important. I love the fact that you said that you allow yourself, you give yourself grace. And that is so important because, as individuals, we can be so hard on ourselves sometimes. We'll be easy on other people, but we tend to become so hard on ourselves. And so to give yourself grace and understand that the setback is going to lead to a step up if you just keep going and just don't quit. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. 100%, and give the other people grace too. Yeah. Because sometimes your setback isn't just your setback, or it's the cause of someone else. So I think all parties involved deserve grace, and you just do your best and move forward.
Yeah. Now, one thing I know about you, Ashlee, is your faith is so important to you. So how have you implemented your faith or included your faith with you pursuing or manifesting your goals?
Well, I believe truly in God giving me a vision and then him working through me. Good. Right. And so it's not me and it's not about me, it's above me. And so I just do my best to have a childlike faith and continue to do what I feel truly in my heart that he's calling me to do. And with his guidance and with his grace and mercies, I am able to press forward. But no, man, I would be nothing without my faith and without God.
Yeah, I said the same thing for myself as well. So we share the same testimony with that. And so it's important. I knew that your faith is so important to you and that you utilize your faith definitely to manifest your goals and your dreams. I mean, even the different celebrities that you had on your podcast, I knew that you utilized your faith in order to get those things done. And so I definitely wanted to hear your story behind that. How were you able to utilize your faith and where are you with that? And so just to know that your faith has been a part or a stepping stone to where you are today, that's absolutely fantastic. So thank you for sharing that. And so, Ashlee, we're about to wrap up. So can you tell us about your podcast? I know you have your podcast because you had talked about it and mentioned it during the show, and then also your apparel line. So tell us a little bit about your podcast, how people can follow you, and also your apparel line, how people can purchase your apparels.
Absolutely. So the amateur experts who I am, I know a little bit about a lot. My mom told me you should always know just a little bit about a lot. And so I interview people weekly and we talk about their ideas, about success, the tips and motivators that they use along the way. And I truly believe that when you hear other people's story, you're inspired. And so it is my goal to talk to as many people as possible so that we can inspire and impact the world. And so you can listen to the podcast on all streaming platforms. It is the THEE Amateur Expert, and we're on YouTube as well as Instagram, and then the apparel line is Affirmed Armor, and that came from, like I said, a really dark place. I literally just come out of a divorce, and I had shame and I was nervous about sharing with anyone, and I'd be emotional at my desk, and I would put my head down just to gather myself, and literally the Lord said to me, no, lift your head up, I've got you. And so, like I said, the apparel brand is to remind you of a truth that you've forgotten about yourself, and it can be found at affirmedarmor.com. We also have an Instagram page which is at Affirmed Armor.
Well, Ashlee, that is amazing. I mean, you have an amazing story, you have an amazing testimony, you have an amazing brand that I know is going to continue just to rock the world. And so congratulations to you and best luck to your, and best wishes, I should say, to you and your business. And so as we close this episode, Ashlee, in 60 seconds or less, what would you tell the viewing audience about manifesting their goals? What is one word that you would share with them about manifesting their goals?
I would say write it down. If you believe it, you can achieve it, and do it. You've got it.
Good. Quick, short, to the point. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Ashlee, for being on the show today. You taught us you gave us a lot of information on how to manifest our goals. And we're not going to let that information fall to the ground and die. We're going to apply it so that we can also manifest our goals and our dreams as well. So thank you so much for being on our show. Well, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I am your host, Wanda Martin. And like I always love to end my segments, hey, be safe, be great, and be 8 all day. Hey, God bless.